Hey guys, my name's Yvette and welcome to my DIY channel, and I hope that you guys are having a great day. So I wanted to share some random thrift flips that I did, so let's just get started. Alright guys, so for this first thrift flip, I wanted to make an aesthetic candle, and so this is basically going to be just for looks. I'm probably not going to light this. Anyways, I found this wooden bowl at Goodwill, and it came with like this metal thingy attached to it under, and it's also really glossy. I'm pretty sure it's like a wax finish on top of it, so I want to get rid of that, and this was only $2.99. I'm gonna start off by unscrewing that metal thing that's attached to the bowl. And by the way guys, you want to make sure to clean your objects beforehand because you don't want to work with dirty stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to start sanding off that waxy finish, and I know it's really hard to sand off wax on wood, but I'm still going to try to see if it'll work for me since this is really small. Alright guys, so this is how my bowl is looking like now, and I do like it a lot better because that glossy finish just wasn't for me. So now I'm going to stain it in the shade Natural to see if it'll help this out. And if you work with wood stain, make sure that you use gloves. So here's the bowl after it dried, and it's looking really good. I'm gonna take some candle wicks and I'm gonna glue 3 into this bowl using some E6000. Next, I'm gonna take some of this potpourri that I found at the thrift store for $3.99, and this was originally from Pottery Barn. And I'm going to place some of it inside of my bowl to make the candle more aesthetically pleasing. And then right here, I'm rolling down the wicks so that they don't set funny when I pour the wax in. For the wax, I'm taking old candles that I have and I'm just gonna melt them together. I took a large pot, filled it with water, put the heat on high, and then on top of that, I'm adding a smaller container and I'm putting my candles in there, and I'm just gonna wait for them to melt. And then right here, I'm just pouring in my wax. Now I'm going to cut the candle wicks, and that's basically it. Also, the reason that this is more for looks rather than me lighting it is because I'm pretty sure if the candle wicks touches any of the potpourri may really burn, and I don't want to start a fire. So that's why this is basically just for looks, but I really do love how it came out. Alright guys, so for our second thrift flip, we're going to be upcycling this little rocking chair that I found. It's really cute and it was only $5.99. It's a bit crusty and it does have a couple of cracks in the wood, and some of the stuff isn't quite glued on anymore, but we can definitely fix this. I don't know if this was for a doll or used as a plant stand. The little circle inside of the middle of the seat makes me think this was used as a plant stand, which is how I'm going to use it. Anyways, I'm going to start off by gluing down anything that isn't attached. Next, I'm going to fill up some of these cracks, and I'm going to use natural wood filler for this. So now I'm going to start sanding the seat, and on camera it looks okay. I mean, still kind of crusty, but in person it had like a greenish tint to it, and that was not it. And I'm only sanding the seat because that's the only part I'm going to leave looking like wood. I'm going to stain it in the shade Natural. You guys, look how much better the seat looks now with a fresh coat of stain on it. Alright, so now I'm going to start painting the rest of the rocking chair. So here I decided I wanted to paint the wood closest to the middle white. And then I changed the mint green to a wisteria blue, and we're done. Okay guys, so for our last thrift flip, we're going to be upcycling this cute little basket that I found. I'm not the biggest fan of the stain in the middle, so I want to paint that, and then I also want to add a liner to the inside of the basket. So this part here, I'm painting vintage white. For the liner, I'm just using random fabric that I have, and I made sure that the fabric covered the basket perfectly on the outside. If you want the fabric to fold over the edges of your basket when you make a liner, just make sure that you leave like at least 1 inch or 2 inches longer on each end. So now I'm going to pin the corners together, and by the way, make sure that you have the pretty side of the fabric facing down. You guys, I have no idea where my sewing pins went, so I'm just going to show you guys this with hairpins. So you want to pin the corners all the way to the end up here, and then just start sewing a straight line. Once you get to the top, make sure you knot it off. And then right here, you guys can see the straight line I sewed. So just do that same thing to the other 3 corners. You should end up with something that looks like this, and then pull your cloth off, and then you can actually fit it into the basket now, and it'll fit perfectly. And like I said before, if you wanted it to fold over your basket like this, just make sure that you add an extra inch to each end of the fabric to make it longer. Okay, so now I'm going to cut off the extra fabric from each of the corners. Right here, I'm just making sure that it still looks good. I don't want my fabric to fold over the corners of the basket, so I put my fabric back on the outside of my basket, and I folded down some of the ends, and I'm just gonna hot glue them into place so that when I put my liner inside of the basket, the fabric will be perfectly lined with the top of it and not go over. Now I'm going to glue my liner into place inside of my basket. And there we go, guys, and when you turn this to the side, you can't even tell that your basket has a liner inside of it. Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that some of these thrift flips I did give you guys ideas for thrift flips that you guys could do. But yeah, subscribe for more DIYs and stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!